practice your draw. You have to practice presenting the weapon every single time. It's something that you're not going to pick up overnight.
Hey guys, welcome to the Whiskey, Lead, and Steel, the official podcast of Aggressive Defensive Solutions, also known as Feelings Hurt While You Wait. Hey, I'm Lee, and today with me I've got Adrian, and we're going to talk about what, Adrian?
We're going to talk about Whiskey, Lead, and Steel.
Yes, we are. Well, less whiskey, more of the lead and steel today, right? Right. Yeah. So, but we're going to talk about the pros and cons of carrying a light on your EDC, and we might get into maybe a little bit of the new hotness versus the old stuff, right? Yeah. So, so Adrian, I'm not a carry a light on your EDC kind of guy, and you.
Yes, I carry a light on my EDC because when I take my holster off at the end of the night, it's on my nightstand. I don't have to monkey around with the gun, putting the light on and off. It's used because in most encounters, it occurs in low light. So I want to be able to identify my surroundings and my target so that I know if I need to shoot or don't need to shoot.
Okay. So Adrian, are you an optics guy? Are you a red dot guy, or you use your iron sights? What is on your EDC?
Trained both ways, but for me, still the iron sights are quicker.
Okay. Yeah, and so I guess you and I are kind of completely opposite here. So I do have a nightstand gun, right? That has a light on it, and I guess maybe we can talk about that in a minute. And my EDC, I've switched to optics because I'm old, right? I'm old and I can't see well anymore. So, and interestingly enough, with that, and is I do two different prescriptions for my eyes. So, red dot and iron sights, kind of a different focal length for those. But any thoughts, since you've done stuff with red dots? Have you done any training with? You figure out the water situation. Have you done any training with your red dot and your light? Do you or just with your iron sights?
No, just with the iron sights.
Okay.
Now I've trained with the red dot,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not my normal everyday carry.
Okay. All right. So what is the applicability, kind of in your opinion, of having the light in a home defense situation?
With the light, like I said, I can use it to identify targets, and I don't have night sights on my pistols. I have normal blacked out rear, and the front sight is a fiber optic. So at night, when you're presenting on the target with the light, that fiber optic blooms nice and bright. So you can put it on the target and be ready to go.
And that's actually one of the reasons why I kind of have a different home defense gun is I do carry a kind of a stock 365, and while I've got the optics, the red dot on it right now, the sights on it definitely are not a low light. The stock sights on that SIG are not a low light kind of a situation at all. But so let's talk a little bit about that from a home defense standpoint. Are we getting the light on there to go clear our house? Or are we barricading? What's the idea there?
Well, for me, I want to identify the threat.
Mm-hmm.
The normal, everyday person would be better served by sheltering in place.
Okay.
You and I both have done a little more.
Yep.
So we have a little different basis than the average person does.
Right. Yeah, and I think that is kind of a key, right? The mindset is generally when you hear bump in the night is kind of shelter in place. Obviously, slight difference if you've got kids in the house, or if you've got someone that you're responsible for in the house, being able to move to that individual. I do think that there's a lot of applicability then in home defense to have that light, because you don't know what that bump is, right? There is just as good a chance that bump in the night might be the other person you're trying to protect, and not being able to identify that person could create a catastrophic issue there. But yeah, anything else you think on to discuss? We had a discussion before this talking about the new hotness.
Yes, and
I think we can talk for you can probably talk for hours about that. But
I run the older Surefire lights, the older Stream lights, and I've had some friends go, "Why are you running that? This is so much brighter. This is so much better." Just because something is new doesn't make the old items obsolete. We used them for years. They work fine. Somebody advanced the technology, but it didn't, like I said, make the old technology obsolete.
And that is a good point. I've got I can't even remember the manufacturer of the light that I use. I've been using that light probably for 10, 12, 14 years, and that they have been bought out by another company, and there's things that have gone on, but yeah, you're right. It's the light is a light. Yeah, push a button, the light shines, and it's a great illumination. I no longer carry my Glock, but it is but it's my bedside gun because it's there, right? So, but the light on it, and right, sights present pretty much right in the center of that light, which for the distance you would have for a home encounter, if I illuminate it, I should be able to hit the target, and definitely be able to have positive identification. So, any thoughts? Getting back into carrying that. I understand why you don't take it off, but have you found any problems with the draw using a light? Anything extra that somebody who might be considering that needs to take into account? With having a light on their weapon in an EDC situation, could it be a hindrance? I guess really.
The main thing with any accessory holster, you have to practice. You have to practice your draw. You have to practice presenting the weapon every single time. It's something that you're not going to pick up overnight. It takes practice. Just like the old joke, how do I get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, son. Practice.
That is true. All right. Any spent rounds or alibis, or saved rounds or alibis?
No.
All right. Hey guys, I appreciate you watching, tuning in. Might have had a feelings or two hurt out there today, but if not, hey, stay tuned, because next time, guarantee you, we will hurt your feelings. We'll talk to you next week.
Oh, just to add, if you want to know who I am, I help out with Aggressive Defensive Solutions. I'm the token black male conservative heterosexual on the group.
So, thank you, Blactical. You can look him up on YouTube. All right. Talk to you next week, guys.
It takes practice. Just like the old joke, how do I get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, son. Practice.